Howdy, my name is Nayeli de la Garza, and I am a psychology major from Houston, Texas, and I am the loudest and proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2020.
Howdy, my name is Levi Montasso, and I'm a business management major from Anna, Texas, and I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2022.
For this debate, I will be defending the insect Aphis glycinus, commonly known as the soybean aphid.
And I will be defending the insect Melanophis sakari, commonly known as the sugarcane aphid.
Today, we are going to be discussing which causes greater damage and losses in agriculture. Aphis glycinus, commonly known as the soybean aphid, is an insect that is native to Asia. An invasive species, it has become a terror for farmers across the Midwest, specifically in Indiana, since 2000, with major infestations occurring in 2001, 2003, and 2005. The insects have now spread their way around the country, affecting approximately 32 states. The pesky insects can be identified through their tiny yellow bodies, typically an inch and a 16th in length, and can be categorized if they are winged or wingless. The damage done by these insects is done by attaching themselves to the plants, which hosts can include soybeans, alfalfa, and clovers, and feeding on the juices through needle-like structures in their mouth. When feeding, the aphids excrete a honeydew substance, which is then responsible for the molding of these plants. Because of the molding, the process of photosynthesis is affected and can therefore lead a plant to die. If the insects are present in huge numbers, this could potentially affect harvest by slowing growth rates, which affects populations that are dependent on their crops, whether sustainable or commercially.
While the sugarcane aphid is not uncommon to the United States, in the past couple of years it has become a much larger problem as they have inexplicably begun spreading much farther than in previous years. In 2013, the insect had only spread across a couple of counties in Texas and Louisiana. The following year, it made its way through 12 states and over 300 different counties. Like most aphids, the sugarcane aphid is small in size, being about 1/32 of an inch and oval in shape. It is a fairly difficult insect for beginners to identify due to its physical similarities to others of its kind, such as the cornleaf and English aphids. The hard rule to the sugarcane aphid commonly is referred to as black is fact, meaning that its head, feet, corniche, and tips are all black. These aphids have two adult forms, one that has wings and one that does not. It is due to this winged adult that they have spread as far as they can because their wings carry them over vast stretches of distance in the wind. Once the sugarcane aphid colony starts populating a field, the estimate for full contamination of that field is roughly 3 weeks. After the 3-week mark passes, with no intervention, the field will begin losing its yield in exponential quantities. Since 2013, anywhere from 25 to 100% of farmers' crops in the Southeast die to this insect.
It's only the beginning, and one should really be able to tell that the soybean aphid causes the most damage. As mentioned in the introduction, approximately 32 states are affected by this pest. That is 20 more than the number of states affected by the sugarcane aphid. This means that the soybean aphid is already causing more damage. When there are favorable conditions, the female aphid can choose to clone itself, the offspring being female as well and adding to the population that is able to clone itself. These growths can occur so rapidly that it is advised that farmers run inspections every 3 to 4 days. If these infestations are left untreated, yields can be reduced to as much as 10 bushels per acre, sometimes even more.
I disagree with Nanelli. The soybean aphid is only found in more states due to a more favorable climate. As I stated before, the sugarcane aphid was originally found in Texas and Louisiana. The very next year, they were found in over 12 states. That's an increase of roughly 500% in only a year. Additionally, unlike the soybean aphid, which needs proper conditions to produce/clone themselves asexually, every single member of a sugarcane aphid colony is female, gives birth to live young, is viviparous, and each adult can reproduce up to 3 times a day. Viviparous means that an animal is born pregnant.
The soybean aphid reproduction rate is so high that the population can be doubled in less than 2 days. During their thriving season, generally from May to August, the temperatures promote longevity and reproduction. Female soybean aphids that are part of the winged population are able to travel and spread their population as they lay live offspring rather than an egg. The growth of the offspring is also rather rapid, and with their ability to clone themselves can lead to major local infestations. During the fall and winter times, these insects are still able to reproduce, but instead lay eggs and attach themselves to buckthorn, continuing their damage outside of their thriving season. When these populations build, the infestations are no longer attached to just the leaves. Instead, the infection spreads throughout the plant, affecting the flowers, pods, and stems. These are additional problems to the molding that is caused by the honeydew, excreted by the aphid, which affects the process of photosynthesis in the long run, slowly killing the plant.
A major problem that comes with exterminating a sugarcane aphid colony in crops is that while the colony is feeding and growing off of a crop, they're also leaving their excrement all over their plants. While it doesn't seem like this would be a big problem, their excrement is a honey-type substance that even when the colony is exterminated is left behind to gum up all kinds of farm equipment that is necessary for harvesting the field. Additionally, this honey is known to have standing mold grow over the top that inhibits insecticides and herbicides that would typically be used to kill off aphid colonies.
To bring this debate to an end, I conclude that the soybean aphid is more harmful to agriculture than the sugarcane aphid, despite their various similarities. I believe that the soybean aphid causes more damage in the agriculture field, as this insect is able to double their population in less than 2 days during their thriving season, which is the summer. These insects continue their damage outside of thriving season by reproducing during the fall and winter seasons and feeding on buckthorn. There can be extensive damage caused by the honeydew excreted by the aphid, such as the molding of the infested plant that affects photosynthesis within the plant, as well as spreading the infection throughout the rest of the plant. For these reasons, any farmer that comes across an infestation of the soybean aphid would be greatly affected economically.
At first glance, both the sugarcane and soybean aphid are very similar insects, but after further inspection, I believe the sugarcane aphid to be the more harmful to agriculture as a whole due to the combination of their exponential reproduction rate and the speed at which they reach their threshold levels. The fact that they have a viviparous nature and leave behind honey to destroy farm equipment as well seems like an insult to injury for any farmer that comes across them.